WARK 300 Radio, man. We got some guests in the building, man. Some dear friends. You know, like when I say my wife in the building, my sister in the building, you know what I'm saying? We just doing what we do on this lovely Saturday afternoon. You know, like I said before, man, before we went to break, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, man. Like when I say that means so much to me, LBG.
Man, me too.
Listen, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And right now, man, in the studio, we have my lovely wife. Look at her. Look at that chocolate girl. You know what time it is, man. She in the building, man. What's up, Sarita? What's up, baby?
Hey, honey.
What's been going on?
Miss Box in the building.
Yes,
Mrs. Box.
yes. It's the Mrs. G Box.
Miss G Box in the building. Look. What's going on, man?
Not a thing. Just living.
Hey, amen
Every
to that.
day.
Amen to that.
All day.
You know, a lot of people, don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people might not necessarily follow you on social media, but you've been doing, your breast care journey.
Breast cancer journey.
Vlog, so
Yes.
to speak. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's the 16th day. You've been doing it 15
Yes.
days straight.
Yes.
I've been trying to save all of them. You know what I mean? So we can just put them all back out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, make it serious.
yeah. So what's going on? Like,
Well, I decided to do the breast cancer journey because I just felt that it's a lot of people that's probably either going through it for themselves or probably know somebody who's going through it or who's been through it that still haven't basically like snapped back and they're still living that life, or they can't get from underneath it because it's hard to try to snap back and get back to your normal living, your regular routine, because
Right.
now you're going from, like myself, from healthy to living now a new normal, a new healthy life. So it's the normal life that I knew is gone, and now I have a new normal,
right?
a
Yeah,
new
it doesn't
normal life.
exist.
So yeah,
So many changes, so many things.
yeah,
that
you gotta
occurred.
definitely change your mindset.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, this the 16th day, so catch the people up. You know what I mean? Like, how was it? Like, seriously, you know what I mean? I mean, I was there with you, but how was it? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know the feel.
Yeah,
Like,
it's,
I know
it's different perspective for
Exactly.
everyone who went through the journey with me because, yeah, I have my support, but I'm the one that's actually going to do the treatments and stuff. So it's different. But I just want to say, like in the beginning, I noticed that I had a lump on my breast. So I used to work in a hospital, so I just thought something had bit me, like a spider bite, because I've been bitten before where it would go from my breast all the way down my back, and it was a spider bite. So I didn't think anything of it, so I just went on as my normal day routine. I would put alcohol on it, the home remedy stuff. So it was coming and leaving, so I really didn't pay any attention. So that probably went on for probably about maybe 6 months. If not longer, before I actually, and what made me actually look deeply at it was I saw a dent coming in my breast. Like right on top of my nipple, it started to dent in. So I'm like, oh God, something. I said, well, okay, well, this not right. So I said, I can't keep on. And then on top of that, I didn't even really go then. I started doing research. I get online like, okay, how does it look for breast cancer? Well,
right.
what type of
Right.
no. And then it was actually the nipple that dented in. So I was like, oh no, it can't be breast cancer. It's not my nipple. It's on top of it.
Right.
So I'm still trying to fix it and sugarcoat. I'm like, no, that can't. Yeah, and then now like, no, I know this came because only my auntie on my mom's side had breast cancer, and she was like in her 50s, I want to say. So I was just 40. Like I had turned 40 in February of 2019. So I wasn't trying to go get no mammogram or none of that until I was like 42, because I was like, there's no need to go get it. And my insurance wouldn't pay for it until you turn like 41, 42, unless you got it on your, in your family or whatever. So it wasn't. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm good. It ain't that. So, I just kept on going by my day or whatever. So I called my aunt, the one who had breast cancer. So I called her on video. And I was like, Auntie, you see my breast? You see that? She was like, go to the doctor right now. I'm like, no. go to the hospital right now. It was on the weekend. So I said, I work in the ER. I ain't trying to go to no ER because I would have to go to my hospital because there was a close. I'm like, I ain't doing
that's
it.
like going to work on Monday.
No, exactly. I ain't doing it. I was like, I'm not doing it. She was like, you need to go. You need to go. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll make an appointment. But the appointment was going to be like, I had to make it on Monday. And then it was going to be like a week or so before I went in. So I'm like, I'll be straight until it ain't nothing big. So I was like, no, you need to go right now. I'm like, man, you tripping. Okay, cool, I'm going to go.
Got to take it serious, man.
Yeah, so, but you know, that's how we are. We try to self-diagnose ourselves.
Oh, yeah, most
we try to treat ourselves.
Oh, I hate going to the hospital.
But y'all, we got to, as women, we got to do those reaching back. You got to check yourself because I felt the lump. But we still have to move on. I know sometimes you don't want to do it, or it may be an insurance thing or whatever, but you have to do it. And as for me, I was working. So when I called in to make my appointment, I scheduled my appointment or whatever. And so the doctor office called back and she was like, well, Sarita, I'm like, yeah. She said, well, I'm looking at your insurance and you don't have any health insurance. She said, you got everything else, but you don't have health. I'm like, what? I ain't got no health insurance. I said, that can't be right. I work. It's coming out my check. So at this time, my job was changing over from DeKalb to Emory. Emory took over DeKalb Medical. I don't know if you guys know. They took over DeKalb Medical. So normally, if you don't make any changes to your insurance, it's going to stay the same. So in this instance, since it was now Emory, you had to go in and say you wanted to keep it. And I didn't do that. So by me not doing that, I didn't have any coverage.
What?
So at this time, I'm thinking like y'all think. I'm like, oh, hell no. I ain't got no coverage. Who gonna pay for this? Right. I ain't got no insurance. And I couldn't do open enrollment until January. And this was September.
Man. Oh, it was real. It was real.
Oh, man.
So I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, dog, y'all ain't got no insurance. So the spirit has started dealing with me. Like God has started dealing with me. Like I didn't know it was God, but at that time, so it was just like my man was like, okay, well, you need to go online and look at clinics because it was coming up to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I knew that they usually do free mammograms sometimes in October. So I was like, well, let me just start looking. But this is September, beginning of September. So I said, let me start looking at this stuff or whatever. And so I went online. I just was Googling, places that you can get a free mammogram. So my sister was like, well, go to the health department. I'm like, the health department? I ain't finna go to no health department, girl. What you mean the health department? Because I've always had insurance, so I've never known anything but my insurance. Right. So, for somebody who don't know, I'm like, health department? I'm like, girl, what? So she was like, yeah, they do free mammograms. I used to get it done every year there before I got insurance. I'm like, oh, okay. So I looked it up. So they have free mammograms. So I called in, made an appointment. I went in or whatever. And so they don't have the actual mammogram. So you have to go in, you lay down a little bit. And by her seeing the lump, she just automatically signed me up to go to the women's health department at Rockdale. So I was like, well, ma'am, I don't got no insurance. How much this up going to cost? And she said, oh, don't worry about it. It's covered. I said, it's covered. So what, y'all, are you finna give me a paper? Because if you ain't giving me nothing, I ain't finna go down there to my, they said that y'all should do it.
Right.
So she said, I'm gonna make a phone call and I'm gonna give you an appointment and you just take it down there and you go and you're already gonna be scheduled. She said, they'll call you and schedule the appointment. I said, okay. So I went home. The next day they called, bam, got my appointment. So just moved up a little bit more. He was getting ready to be my son's 16th birthday. We was planning to go to Florida for his 16th birthday. So I do the mammogram or whatever. And so I'm doing a mammogram. Now taking this is my first mammogram. I had never had a mammogram done. I was 40 years old. I had never had a mammogram. I was healthy. I have never had any health issues. I was just going every year doing my yearly annual stuff. And other than that, I haven't had any issues with nothing. Period. Nothing. I had 3 kids, natural birth. That's it. No surgeries, no nothing. Just good health. Just good health. So, bam, I go get the mammogram done. So when you go for a referral from a clinic or whatever, you have to see the radiologist that same day. So I went and got the mammogram. So they took me in the little room or whatever. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking like, they better not come in here with no, because I'm telling you, They better not come in here with nothing, because I don't even
Chicago
want
coming out in the Chi-Town.
They better have proof. Like, I want to see it. Like, I don't want to hear nothing. I want to see it. So boom. So she come in there. She said, "Well, the radiologist wants some more films on your right breast." I said, "For what?" They said, "Well, that's where the lump was, and we need some more film." But y'all just filmed me for like 15 minutes. They get that smashing it.
Oh yeah, it hurt, don't it?
Put your
It's the
arm up,
worst.
step up,
It's
get
the
on your
worst.
tippy toes, come back, bend over. I'm just like, girl, you talking about some more? I'm like, all right, let's do it. Right, just like, okay, so I have to go in there.
Gotta get checked
I
out,
did.
man.
You gotta go, and I did another one.
She
So
said, I
then-
ain't trying to get beat up, though.
Because people had already told me, "Oh, the mammograms hurt. It be squeezing you so tight." But I'm coming to let y'all know, it did not happen like that. It wasn't as bad as I thought. I had my mind set for the worst. I'm taking Tylenol before I went and everything, so I can make sure I wasn't sore afterwards. But it's nothing like you think. But anyway, so moving on, I did the second mammogram. She come in, she said, "Okay, well, we got to get an ultrasound today." They wanted everything done done then. So we did the ultrasound. So I'm laying there now. This is my very first ultrasound, because I have never had, besides my baby, you know, for when you having your babies. But other than that,
Right.
so I'm laying back, I'm looking up, so I'm looking at the machine that she was doing this. So as she was moving it around, it was like a little fiery. You know how that little fire is? You can see that. I see that popping up on the screen. I'm looking at her. I said, "Girl, what is all that?" She said, "Oh, I'm just trying to make sure I get everything or whatever." So she moving all around. Now the ultrasound was worse than the mammogram, because she was digging on it, digging on the corners, all up under my arms. On my right breast, it probably took her maybe 20 minutes or more to do my ultrasound. So when she got to the left side, all right, I'm done. 5 minutes. I'm like, "You already done?" She said, "Yeah, well, since you got the ultrasound, the doctor's going to call you or whatever. So they have you go in and talk to the nurse before you leave." And she said, "Well, if the radiologist sees anything, he will call. But if it's nothing, then I will call." So I said, "Oh, okay." So I'm like, "Cool." And she said it usually take about 7 to 10 days. So I'm like, "Okay," because we're getting ready to go out of town. So moving on, 3 days come. The phone, I see on my phone, right there, medical. So I didn't even answer the phone. So I called back. And you know, normally when you call back a hospital, you're going to have to go through the automated system. You're going to have to press 1 and go all this.
Right. It was a direct.
It was a direct number to the radiologist who did who I talked to that day. Direct. So he answered the phone. And I was like, "Yeah." Someone called, and he was like, "Yeah, well, we just come to call in to tell you that." And we was getting ready to do something. We was getting
We was about to get ready to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Probably had to eat more than likely. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
We was getting up, and so
And
he
she
was
got
on
that
one
phone
side,
call,
and
man.
I was on the other side, and I was getting ready and stuff. And I'm like, he was like, "Well, I just want to let you know that it is breast cancer." I was like, "What?" So I put it on speakerphone so Jermaine could hear. I'm like, "Wait a minute." I'm like, "Baby, this the doctor."
That was a crazy
And I'm
day.
like, and we like, "Well, it's just 3 days later." Like you said, 7 to 10, ma'am. You talking about 3 days now? So
Real quick.
so I already then my mind like, "Oh hell, I know that's what it is." So he's like, "Well, you have breast cancer, and it's called lobula," and he said it's a slow growing type of cancer. So he was like, so I was like, okay. So I'm looking, I'm getting scared. I'm trying to be strong because I know I'm gonna beat it, but you know, as a human, you like,
that's some real news though, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
she,
man.
you know, she
man,
broke
it
down.
just
Like,
So I was like, okay. I said, "Well, do you think I can beat it? Like, is it bad?" He was like, "Well, it's stage 3A." And he said,
and if y'all don't know, you know, cancer is
it's different
stages.
levels of stages. So I was on the 3rd stage at the beginning of the 3rd stage. So, and he was like, matter of fact, did he tell me that in? But anyway, it was level 3A. And so he was like, I said, "Well, do you think I can beat it?" And he was like, "Oh, definitely." He said, "I'm almost 99% sure you're going to beat it." And I'm like, so I'm thinking in my head, well, if the radiologist say I'm going to beat it, then I'm good. So I'm thinking like, okay, everything going to be good or whatever. And then, so we hung up or whatever. He recommended me some doctors or whatever. And so I just took a moment, and he was just like, "I got breast cancer?" I'm like, "God, you finna take me to breast cancer? Like, what I done did?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You start questioning, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? How?
That
I'm
was
like, wait a minute.
that day right there was that one
That was the day.
that you know, like, shit just got real. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Everything stopped for that minute.
It was like
yeah,
another
you get what
life.
I mean? Like, hold on, okay.
A whole lifestyle.
So and look, and I don't want to stop you from telling your story. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I need y'all to go follow her on her social media and finish. You know what I'm saying? But I'm so glad that you beat it. You know what I mean? Like seriously, you really beat it. She here to tell a story.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all tune in to her breast cancer journey series. You know what I'm saying? That she does. You know, it can help somebody in your family, somebody you don't know, you know, just from sharing it. And right now, man, I have a dear friend in the building. Shay is here. You know, she wears a lot of hats, you know, in the industry and the things that we do. She does a lot. And I want to welcome her to the show. You know what I'm saying?
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, man. What up, Shay? You know what I'm saying? Los wasn't able to make it. You know what I'm saying?
It's all right. And I got his back. He got my back. That's how we operate,
Who got
right?
your back?
Hey,
Right.
you do, like,
That's how we
seriously.
operate. It's all right.
Listen,
Absolutely,
man,
absolutely.
It's crazy because, like, you know, I try to keep up with Shay. I can't keep up with Shay.